Hi, I'm Travis, and this is Dev Tips. This week's video, or should I say videos, is an experiment. I thought it'd be fun to have dev tipper Andrew Marks come on the show and help me out. So here's how it went down. I made a design and sent it to Andrew. We both recorded ourselves coding it up separately and then swapped videos. We then made notes about the similarities and differences between our approaches. And so this is my video. You're going to see me code up this design for the next hour and a half. You can also watch Andrew's video and the video of us discussing the project today. The links are in the description of this video down below. Alright, so let's get into it. So the design is pretty simple. We've got this layout here, which is basically a splash page and then 6 words. There's 3 words in the title and 3 words in the button. If the user were to click this button here, it would open an overlay, a yellow wash overlay over the entire page, and then in the center a modal. The modal is pretty simple as well. It's got some text on the left and an image on the right and a form down below. It should be pretty straightforward. We didn't want to make this too complex, but we did want to have a design that has a lot of variability for interpretations for the developer, myself and Andrew. One thing I was specific about in the design is I used a very specific font. You see that it's kind of it's sharp and it's lean. It's called Futura. And if you're into fonts and design, it's a classic font. It has a lot of opinions about things, but you can't really go wrong. It's very strong, very purposeful, and business-oriented. So there's 2 variations of it. Here I used medium weight, so let me type on. You see here is Futura medium everywhere. And then on the home page I used Futura condensed extra bold. So in order to get the correct font, I had to use Adobe's typekit service right here. So I set up a typekit and I'm using Futura medium and Futura condensed extra bold. That's why over here in my base CSS you can see that my body has Futura and my headlines are going to get that Futura condensed right there. So that's pretty much the setup. Pretty simple. My main is pulling in, my main.sass is pulling in that base file and concatenating it, and my index.jade is just, it's ready for our markup. Now the first thing I want to do is gather the assets, the image assets that I'm going to need for this design. The first thing is going to be the big splash page, right? So if I command click on the splash page, I go right to it in the layers panel here, and I'm going to right click and then say duplicate layer, and I'm going to duplicate layer onto a new file. Say OK, and there we are. I've isolated that layer. How easy was that? Press Command Shift Alt. Command Shift Alt, I don't even know my keywords. Command Shift Alt save, and I'm going to have it's saved for web. I'm saving it as a JPEG. Good at business, images. I'm going to call it BG and Dunzo. All right. The next, I'm going to just close that new document. Don't save. The next artifact I need. I think that's good for the home page. The splash. Okay. Let's do the same thing. I'll just isolate this screen right here, and when okay, so it's masked right here. If I shift click on the mask, you'll see how it's like hanging out. Now that's kind of interesting. Maybe I want the whole design of these. Maybe I want the whole design of this graphic here, because so I can move it around and have a little bit more control over it. So let's say just take not the encasing folder, but just the graphic itself, and do the same thing. Duplicate layer and move it to a new file. Press OK. Now it's too big here. The whole background in the last one, what we just kind of duplicated, the image was the whole size. Because when you duplicate the layer to a new file, or a new document, it recreates the dimensions of the previous document that layer was in. But I don't need all this extra space around the graphic there. So I'm going to go to File Trim here. It's not File, it's Image Trim. And make sure that the top, bottom, left, and right are all selected. and it's going to be based on transparent pixels. What this will do is just cut off everything that's not actual pixel information. So press OK, and then we have a trimmed image. Command Shift, I'll save that, and I could save it on a white background because the design itself is white, but we want it to be a ping. Let's see how much of the difference. So we're going to go from 38K if it's a ping to 31. It's not a big savings. What if it's ping 8, 17K? What if it's a GIF, 24? Okay, so if it's a ping 8, it's going to have the highest savings in data file size, which is always good, especially on the internet. So we're going to go with that, especially because this design has a white background for that panel anyway. So I don't need it to be transparent. It's a nice to have if it didn't matter, but it kind of matters at this moment because the savings of the file size is so grand if I take away that transparency by using a ping 8. Not to say that ping 8s don't have transparency, they just have kind of not very subtle transparency, and might as well just take it off completely just to save a few more bits of information. So I'm going to save that as well into the image file, and I'll call this one presentation. .jpg. Okay, cool. Or .ping, whatever. Don't save, and put that mask back on. Okay, cool. So let's start with this graphic here. The design is a full page, a full bleed background image, and that's really easy to do. We'll just go to body in our main Sass and say body background image, and then pull out the URL, which is back one, and it's going to be image, right? And what is the path of that? It's img, and then it's going to be bg.jpg. bg.jpg. Save. There you go. Okay, so it is repeating right now, which is the default, and so we don't care about that, but I do want to say background size, because I want it to be a full bleed, kind of scale up or down depending on the dimensions of your viewport. So size will be cover. And how do we look in there? Oof, let's see. Come on, buddy. Why you not cover, bro? Background size cover. What? I've never ran into this before. Okay, I have a hypothesis. All right, so the body is collapsed. There's nothing inside of it. So the actual, I talked about this a while ago a few times. One of them was when I talked about wacky things, like 3 wacky things you didn't know about your HTML or something. It was a video a long time ago. And I also talked about this in the full screen splash page video that I did. But I've never seen this before. So if you did not have the body already stretched down, so right now the body is collapsed. So watch, if I put up like a border, oops. Put a border up. Green, solid, 30 pixels. See that border is just at the top there? So the background image for the body element is different than every other background image style for any other element on the whole web page, in that it's the only one that will extend outside of the body element. The body background image, or the body background style, will go to the viewport. And it looks as though, I'm just finding this out just right now, it looks as though the cover attribute or the cover style will not, because the height of the body element is like confusing to it, I guess. It won't do what I expected. What I expected Let me get rid of this border. What I expected was this, height 100 VH. That's what I expected. This is what I expected. I have a full bleed image, right? So let's go back to background here. We'll say position center. There, that guy is good at business. Yeah. Now ideally you'd be like, have like a widescreen kind of, it look like this or something, but it doesn't matter because you have the background cover attribute on. It's gonna scale up or down depending on the viewport, and it does not really matter. So this guy is good at business. What's next? Where's our design? Okay, we're gonna have the headline "Good at business?" ? Good at business, and then below it a link. So what I'm seeing here is a text box together. Let me show you. Here's my marquee. This is a text box that's all in one together, and then that text box is kind of like centered and pushed a little bit off to the right. And then there's the button inside of the text box right there. Okay, so let's go to our structure, our markup, and say main. Main, and then inside of that a H1 that says good at business, and then an anchor. I'm gonna call it a CTA, and it will not have a ref on it. And then what's this? Learn more now. Learn more now. And then one of these things. Let's see what we got. Good at business. Learn more now. All right, I dig. What should we do first? Well, first let's do positioning. Let's go to the main here. Main. You actually, let's say body. Body, you're going to say display flex. Display flex, align items, center, and justify content. Center as well. Boom. That's good at business. Done with warnings. Okay. Okay, and then the main, I want you to have a margin right of like 200 pixels to offset you a little bit. Margin right? Oops, margin left is what I meant. Okay. Because I don't want it to be centered. I want it to be askew. I want it to be, yes. What is it called? Asymmetrical. And let's look at the colors here. What colors have we chosen? This yellow. Let's look at this yellow color. Do you know anybody that says the word yellow instead of yellow? All right, so in our Sass, let's make some vars here. I forgot how to do this. Oh yeah. Yellow. And we know what black is, and that's kind of it, right? There's any other mysterious colors that we're using in the graphics? That's kind of it. Just we have one yellow color. Okay. So the main H1 is going to be color yellow, and it's going to have a background. Well, no. See, I have them wrapped in kind of like a container. So I'll say a span. I'll put them in a span. And that's going to be called display inline block And the background will be black. Now I just need to go put it in a span. I'll do 2 spans. One is going to be span right there, and this one will be span right there. Good at business? Yeah. All right. Another thing about the H1 is it needs to be all caps, which means text transformation, uppercase. Is not good at business. What am I, what? Oh, did I write transformation? No wonder it wasn't good at business. Now is good at business. The span, actually, well, let's call it block so the line will return there. And then we'll put a margin bottom of 10 pixels. Good at business. Maybe 5. And the font of the H1 needs to be font size 50. Let's say 150. That's better. That's gooder. That's gooder at business, sir. But we want it to be inline block because I don't want the width of the black bars to be the same. Like I don't want if it's block, it'll span the whole entire width of its parent. So I want it to be inline block, and then give it some padding of 0 and like 0.3 ems. Is that too much? That's a little bit too much. How about 2 ems? Yeah, good. Okay. I like that. That looks nice. That looks nice. How about that does look nice. Okay. Let's go to that CTA. The background for this okay, we have to call it display inline block so we can have a good background with padding. Background color is going to be that yellow, and the color is black, and the text, because it's a link, it has a default underline. So we're going to say the text decoration is going to be none. I'm going to take that underline away. Let's see what we got here. All right, font size, hyphenated. Font size is going to be like 80 pixels. Boom, too much. Learn more now. Text transform, uppercase. And what? And let's get those paddings in there. Padding 0.2 em. Good. Looks good. What do we want to do when it's hovered? We'll decide that in a little bit. But that's cool, huh? This arrow is less pleasing than I hoped it would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google and type in icon font CDN, because I don't really feel like downloading and hosting or whatever. So there's this thing called Ion icons. Cool. They have some angles. This is the one I want. So what do? Download? Not download. I want to host it. I want to use their CDN. Oh, here we are. So if I just put this in my main SAS, is that right? No, I'll just put it in my Jade. So I'll doop. Oops. I'll do a linker and rel style sheet. ref equals that. All right, now I should have the font linked in, and I can say, what do I want to do? Okay, so if I click on this one, it's going to be ion-chevron.right. So I've go into span and replace this character here with like an I class equals that, and then close the I tag out. What do we got here? What do we got? Anything? Oh yeah, that worked. That worked. That worked. That worked. But let's take that chevron right and massage the style a little bit. So inside of the CTA, let's style you a little bit different. Font size is going to be 0.8 M. It's going to be a little bit smaller. It looks like a little bit too big right there. Yeah, that's better. And then margin left is going to be another 1 M. That might be too much. And that's too much. Be like 0.5 M. That's good. That's maybe too much till still 3. That's good. And then I think I need more padding. So on this button. There you go. All right. Learn more business now. It's good. I like it. The size and scale of this is just kind of big, isn't it? But that's interesting, or that's cool because what we did, like all these sizes, watch, if I change this to like 20, it should all scale down appropriately. But I don't want it to 20, I want it like maybe 40. Maybe 30. And take this font size and I'll say 120. Good at business? Are you good at business? And then the main, and we can say max width will be like maybe like 600 pixels. Main. Are you listening, main? There we are. There we go. That's cool. That looks good. And what happens when we shrink this up? It gets a little ridiculous. It gets a little ridiculous. Let's see here. This is 740. Okay, so let's take stock here and revise this here. Put a media query at media and say max width (740 pixels). H1 font size going to be 80 pixels. There we go. And then I need to have another one because I want it to be as small as 320. So let's put another one at, when's this breakpoint kind of? 550, 560. Another media query at 560. And for that one, I'll take the H1 and put it all the way down. H1 font size like 40 pixels. Boom, good at business. Good at business. I think I should make a permanent carriage return right here. Okay, so just work with me here. This is how the responsiveness is going to be. It's going to be awesome and big, awesome and smaller, and then super duper small all the way till it gets as small as it can be, which is fine. And this won't be as super big. It'll be like this, like it'll be whatever. And now let's work on the responsiveness of this button. When it gets here, I want the button to be CTA. See, it currently is 30, and I want it to be like 20 pixels. Oh, font size. That's good. And then here at the bottom, let's make it a little bit smaller, but not too small. Still want it clickable, especially for fingers. So we'll make it 16. That's good. So let's do some checking on that, and we'll use this emulator here. I'm gonna select an iPhone 5, and okay, oh yes, the margin left on this main is too much. So at this one, when its max width is 740, I'll take that main and say margin left is like 50 pixels. Okay. Why do I have... That looks good. iPhone 6 looks good. 6 Plus, a little small for a 6 Plus. Maybe right here it can be a little bit bigger. $60 and $20. Yeah, that still works. All right, it still works on iPhone 4 and iPhone 5. So those are like the smaller dimensions that are still popular in the world today. That's why I'm checking so hard on these ones, because those are like the corner cases. And it's still, this is a good size for those. Nice clickable button there. And then once you get bigger, like here's a 6 Plus. Here's like a Note, Galaxy Note. Oh, that's not even big as a 6 Plus. I don't even know what the size of these things are. 950 wide. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, let's quit out of our emulator here. Now before we move on to the overlay, let's add a bit of friggity freshness to this button. What do we want to happen to the button? There's a few options. We could like add some drop shadow and like scale the button up to make it look like it's growing at you. But this kind of has like a flat design overlay over the image, so I don't think that design choice would be super appropriate. We could move it, like if you hover over it, it like jumps a little bit to the right, like click it, go now. It does have the arrow graphic on the right, which is kind of cool. Let me show you what I mean. So if I say CTA and I say and hover, and then let's say over here it's position, TION, position, relative, and then here I say left, not left, right, left, keft, left, 20 pixels. Then when I hover on it, it kind of jumps over like that, and I can transition it as well, like say Travis transition all I don't know, 200 milliseconds, and ease dash in dash out. Come on, ease in out, bro. Oh, I know why it's. I was like, why is it jumping if I have a transition properties? Here's why, is because I defined the left here at 20 pixels, but I never defined the starting place. So I'll say left 0 pixels right here. Now it'll be like, oh, now I know where to start from in my transition, right? Cross your fingers. That's what I wanted. Okay, so like, what do you think about that? It's like, learn more now, learn more now, learn more now, learn. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. How about if it was like maybe like 50 milliseconds, and the hover was take off this positioning doodad, and let's go for color. Color, you want to be yellow, and background, you want to be black. Boom. I like it. 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 But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because what I'd like to do is hover over learn more now, and then this change out as well. Let me think. How about this? This is a little weird. This is a little strange. But if I take this anchor, okay, it's just stay with me. Stay with me. And I put it above. And put it inside of main, right? Now it's above, right? Just hold on. And then I go into main and I say CTA and adjacent selector. So it's like a tilde, and then this is the H1. Hover, not hover. Should be like this. Color. Actually, let's put that back. And then we want to do another one that's more like that. And it'll be the reverse of this, right? Okay. Hold on to your butts. Oh, it did it. It did it. Okay, look. Okay. I didn't do a great job. It just did it. It just did it. So what am I looking at here? Oh, because the spans are what I needed to do, right? Not the H1. They're in spans. Does the span control the color? No, let's put the span. Let's put the color in the span here. Good at business. Good at business. Okay, now it's got like this weird like you're hovering. So if I hover over the title here, good at business, nothing happens. If I hover over the CTA, the button, then everything kind of changes, and it's kind of weird, and it's not very great, but I like it and it's fun. So let's do some transitions on it. Transition. I'm going to do a transition on the span here and do like 100 milliseconds. Is this a thing? Yeah, now it's got like a little bit more of a transition for the color. I don't know if I like it, but that's what we got right now. It's all I can afford. Yeah, that's cool. It's less harsh, and it's more like a blink or like a flash or something. Okay, now the question is, now that I repositioned these elements in the DOM so that I could get this weird selector working. I like it though. I like this one. Line 54, you're probably my favorite. How do I get this button back down below? Well, that is an easy thing to do. If we go into our main and we just say display flex, and that would make it like that, like sideways, which is kind of cool. That's kind of cool. It could be cool if I thought about it and made something cool out of it, but I'm not going to. But all I have to do is say flex dash direction and column. Now we're back in business. And then flex, what's it called? Flex, no, we call it justification? No, call it what is it? My CTA is so far. It's stretched all the way across. I don't want it to be stretched. I say, I know the property is going to be flex start, but I can't remember the value is flex start. What's the property? It's you guys at home, you're like, dude, it's just this, and you already know it, but I don't know it right now. I'm thinking, it's not align items. It's align items. Align items. Is that it? There we are. That was it. That was it. Okay, and now for the big reveal. How am I going to flip these things around? Well, I'm going to go to this H1 and I'll say order 0. I thought you were going to work. No? But you're a child of the flexed armor. Okay, let's say go to the CTA and say order 1. Dang, I really thought that would work. Oh, it did work. Why did it just work now? Is it only order 1 that worked? Oh, it was order 1 that worked. Huh. Order 0 didn't work? Oh, because order 0 is neutral. Let me just take that off and save it, go back. If I took this and said order -1, that would also work. Okay, so the -1 would bring H1, so we don't need both of them to have an order on it. Just take H1 and move it behind the 0 with a -1. See? Good at business! And now our splash page is exactly the way I dreamed it would be forever and ever. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now that we have the splash page and we just love it, what we're going to do is we're going to make a overlay and a modal inside of that. So let's spec that on our mock-up, see what that was supposed to look like. Overlay, turn you on. Okay, whoa. Got this yellow color, but it has an opacity. Let's see what the opacity was. Tint 95. Okay, so that's pretty simple to do. We're going to go to markup and create, after the main, we're going to create a class of overlay. Ooh, overlay. And then we'll make a paragraph in there that says, hi, Mom. And then a smiley face. And let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. What do we got? Where's Hi, Mom? Body overlay. Because I put body is display flex, which is fun. Okay, so let's go down to class, go down below everything, and we'll make a new section in our CSS called overlay. And I'll do class overlay. Now, immediately, I'm going to have to take this out of the context of its parent, which is the the display flex, and I'll say position absolute. I guess that doesn't take it out of the something. Background yellow. Okay, so that little guy right there, needs to be stretched everywhere. So background absolute, I'll say top 0 pixels, left 0. Right 0 and bottom 0. See what we got. I was really hoping that that would be a thing. It's not a thing. I thought you could take things in a flex box and absolutely position them, and then be like, oh, I'm not flexed anymore. Kind of miffed about this. That's not a big problem. It's not a big problem, but it's like kind of a big problem. It's not a big problem. It's not a big problem. Don't worry. It's not a big problem. All right. So to get this hi mom working, I was hoping that it would just, dang it. That's good to know though. So I need to restructure the markup a little bit more. So instead of the body being in the main, I'll just do like this. Class text container. And I'll move these all inside of it. And then the styles that I gave the body right here being, the flexing and everything like that, I'll just put those in text container. And give them a height. Give it a height of 100 VH2. Okay. Text container for all the Texans. Text container. Ugh, what's going on here? Yuck. Why would it be? Why would the main not be? Okay, so good at business, text containers, this thing, and then the CTA. But wouldn't, oh, where's main? Oh, it's inside of me. I wanted main to be, right. This is what I was thinking of doing, like this. That's what I was thinking of doing. Putting main inside of text container. Like that. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay, now so let me figure out this overlay bit here. Overlay bit, you're supposed to be position absolute. Oh my goodness. Postion? Is that the whole problem the whole time? Position. Oh my life. Let me go back to my original thesis and check and see if this whole position thing is for real. Remove all this junk and remove text container and take main, put it nest it back where it should be. Okay, that's how we had it before. That's what we want. Now, if I actually spell the word position correctly, will this work? It does work. Okay, so the whole thing that I was saying earlier about the, okay. So position absolute does take the element out of the context of its flexed parent. I was not crazy the whole time. Kind of crazy, but I'm not crazy. But I'm not. I swear it. Okay, display none. All right. Overlay. Background, let's do this. Fade out. Is this a Sass thing? I think this is a Sass thing. But I have to do a comma and then say 0.95? Is that how this works? Okay, but that's not what I should have done. I should have done 0.05 because I want to keep 95 of it. There we go. There we go. Okay, so fade out is a Sass function, and it's basically like just taking this yellow here and then turning it into an alpha, like a RGBA or HSLA, and then knocking down the opacity of whatever it equals to. So it's just an easy way without having to like be like, okay, let's translate this into HSLA ourselves. So we've done that. Cool. So that's the overlay there. And next we have to jump into the modal. So let's create some markup right here. Modal. And then inside of the modal, let's look at the design. Here we are, design. Inside of that modal, we have, we have a few things. We have a close button. We have a text box. We have a this image here, which is like, I'll just call it graphic. And then below that we have a form. And in the form we have an input, which is type equals text. And then we have another input, which is type equals submit. I'm into it. Let's do it. Let's see what we got. All right. That's kind of what I wanted. What was I expecting? Of course that's what I wanted. So we have modal right here. Actually, let's just grab all these words. Put them in my SAS. Modal. All right, how big was the modal? Let's say max width of 600. Pixels, background, really, is white. Here's your white background, and we're just gonna start making that. Well, I could do this, display flex. Display flex, come on, flex, okay. Display flex and, justify content. Center. That's not how you write that. And align items. Align items center as well. So this will take that modal and put it in the center of the page. Just like that. Fantastic. Great. So I have some text that I need to copy out of this document, this Photoshop document. Let's copy that and put it in our content. So in our text box, I have a paragraph here. Business stuff. I'll do type lead in your inbox all the time. And then a paragraph that says sign up, so another paragraph. And that's it. Okay. Is that right? I don't need a space here. That looks about right. Let's see what we got in our text here. Business stuff in your inbox all the time. Yeah. Okay, type lead. Let's go to this text box. Lead is going to be, say, color, black, and what was the font size there? Font size is 30. Picks, done. And normally I'll have the P in the text box here. I'll put lead in text box 2 just so we can have it more organized. I'm going to create a little bit of a bigger selector here, but we're going to only be 3 deep, which is okay. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Color is going to be like 999, I think. This is gray. And what's the font size? 18. All right, the modal itself needs padding of 30 pixels. And we want, there's a drop shadow on it. There's a pretty healthy drop shadow on it. Let's see what we got. Drop shadow is going to be right here. Okay, so how you translate this, we have distance, spread, size, and opacity. In CSS, a little bit different. So I'm going to say box, shadow, and then for distance is the first kind of element. So we'll say 0 for the left and right, or 0 on the X, and 4 pixels for the Y, and spread, there's 0, so we'll leave that 0, and then opacity, so the blur is going to be 20 pixels, there's 0 for the spread, and then opacity is 40%, so you say 0.4. Nope, that's not how you say that. I was like, that doesn't look like right. You say RGBA, and then you say 0, 0, 0 to make it black, and then you say 0.4. like that makes sense, but it doesn't look right. Okay, let's look and see what kind of drop shadow we got on that. No drop shadow? No drop shadow. RG, oh, there's no B in there. Okay, that's what I wanted. Have you guys seen this thing that I said here was 0 pixels? I spread. Have you seen the spread before? Watch this. 20 pixels. Spread is like, where does that blur start? It's a thing you don't see a lot when people write these things, because they always have the blur starting from the edge of the element, but you can push that with spread. You can push it pretty far. In fact, you can do this: 0 for the blur and 20 for the spread. So it's gonna be like basically a box around it. So there's a lot of things you can do with the box shadow. A lot of things. Okay, so that's the box shadow we wanted. Let's take a look at this close button. Close button. Let's go back to that CDN for icons. I probably would just make this by myself, but it's so easy. I'll just use an icon. Close button. Hey. Inside of you, I'll put icon, no, I class equals that. I. There. No. Yeah, see that little X? Yeah, that's my huckleberry. Okay, so what do we want that close button to be like? We want it to be modal. I'm going to put it in a position of relative. on you so that the close button can have a position of absolute. And the top, well, let's first of all think about the dimensions of this thing. Let's talk about the height. Let's make it like 30 pixels. And the width, the same. And background, let's put a background on it so we can just see the actual dimensions of the thing. Because we're not talking about the font character, we're talking about the box containing it. Pink. So let's look at the box containing that. Pink. And so font size 30. Font size 30 pixels. There we go. That's good. That's good. Let's say text align center. For the P, what am I doing here? X. This is for the close button. How did I get down to P? And line height is going to be 30, which is the height of the box itself, the container itself. Okay, so now we have a pretty good target to click on right there. In fact, let's make it clickable by saying pointer, saying cursor, pointer. Here, now it turns into a little finger. Give them the finger. Okay, so now we know the exact dimensions of the box being 30 and 30 pixels. We can say position absolute, top -50, or maybe -40, because I wanted it 10 pixels away from right here. So right here, I just wanted it 10 pixels. You can see that right there, right? Yeah, 10. Right? So, and then right, -40 pixels also. What do we got? Why are you not? What? What? How am I always misspelling position? Oh, my life. Okay, that's what I wanted. Get rid of pink. I don't know how I'm always forever misspelling position. So let's do like in hover and do something cool like, I don't know, transform scale. We'll take it up to like 1.2, and then we'll put transition. I don't know. How long should this take? It should take 200 milliseconds, maybe less, 100 milliseconds, and ease in out. Ooh, that's fun. Boop, 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 boop. It doesn't make that sound. That was my face making that. Boop, boop, boop. But it would be good if it did, but it doesn't. All right. Next, let's worry about this. What did I call it? Text box here. And I'll say text box, you're going to be max width of 80%. %. Yeah, that's better. Business stuff in your inbox all the time. Yeah. This lead needs to be a little bit less padding. So let's call line height 1.3. That's better. Tight. Okay, the next thing we want to do is this form. The graphic. The graphic. Let's do the graphic. The graphic is going to be background pink. We want the graphic to be, well, what do we want? Let's take a look at it. I know what we want. I know, listen to me. Position, I spelled it right that time. Absolute, top 0, right 0. And width, $250. 256 px, and height is going to be, you know, whatever, like 280. We can mess with that in a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Oh yes, the background should not be pink anymore. It should be URL dot image, and what did I call that thing? Presentation.ping. Okay, great. And then I want the background to be aligned to the bottom left. There we go. I like that better. And then finally, let's do this form, the form. I'll make it position relative so that I can put a z index on it and make that z index like 2, you know, so I can get above, basically so I can get above that graphic element. And background is going to be black, and padding, I saw there was a padding on it. What is it? It looks like 10. No, it's 20. 20 pixels. What you got? Show me what you got. Okay, so that's good. That's what I want it to look like. Really, really. But the padding of the what's it called? The main, the overlay, the modal it has 30, and I want it to. I kind of want this thing to go full width, right? So I could do a few things. I could take the padding off of the modal and then put it on everything else individually, but that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is just mess with the form itself so it can control its own destiny, I guess. So I'll say margin on that form is going to be 0 for the top, left is going to be negative 20 pixels, and bottom negative 20 pixels. Oh, 30. Because the margin, or the padding's 30, not 20. It worked. See that image poking down there? That needs to be sorted out. So for the modal, we'll just say overflow hidden. I shouldn't necessarily need to do this because I just need to increase like the height of everything here. So let's go here to this and say, how big is this thing going to be? This is going to be, what, 60 pixels tall? Form. The inputs on that form are going to be height, 60 pixels tall. There we are. 60 pixels tall display, inline block. I'm seeing a weird difference in size between these two here. Can you see that? Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you see this? I wonder why that is. Let's look closer. Let's look closer. Text. There they are. They had different margins and padding, but now I've reset them all. It should be good. So. In my design, I have just like a placeholder. Oh, I'll put an actual placeholder, not somebody's name. Form input. Email address. Cool. Now for this input, and you say input type equals submit. I want you to have padding 0, and on the top and bottom, and then left and right it's gonna be like 20 pixels. What the flip? Invalid CSS after n, expected to select. Oh, these need to be square brackets, not parentheses. Thank you, Sass. Okay. Actually, that style of 20 pixels can go on them both. What's going on here? What's going on here? Okay, 0, 20, I want it to go on both. Okay, and then let's say the font size should be a little bit bigger. Font size is going to be like 18. Yeah, and then I want to stretch the input, the text input all the way across. And what's the colors like? Okay, yeah, it's a yellow submit button. So this one, you need a background of yellow. That looks good. The padding should be even bigger, I think, like 30. And the margin left, it should be 10. Okay, now I need to scoot this little scooter all the way over to the duder. What? I need to scoot this one all the way over to the right. Let's see, is my my form element is full width. If I had put a display flex on that, and then I put an input type text, would it flex grow? Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. And now the proportions are a little off from the design. See how it's taller? It's about, what is that, 260? This is just 200, so it should be like, it needs an extra 60 pixels. Where does that 60 pixels come from? Just space below, it looks like. All right, so I'll go to the form and just add some margin on the top. Add 60 to the top. All right, one last thing I want to do to the form is get rid of that. It's like this outline, right? the focus right here. So what we want to do is go input, let's just say both of them. Say and focus, outline, none. That's good. So now when I'm hovering over or focusing on it, it's not going to be like I'm the weird blue blur. But I do need to put one on it. So let's just say, box shadow. Offset 0, 0, and then blur 0, but spread 2 pixels, and the color is going to be yellow, and it'll be inset. So I got the yellow in there. You see the yellow in there? And it's not going to matter on the submit because the submit is in there. Oh, I think the submit needs to be text. Needs to be uppercase. Submit, dog. Submit it. Yeah. Okay. Now, now that's everything. That's all the styling. Oh, actually, let's check out mobile. This is probably not going to be great. Mobile will be like. Okay, so when we're right about here, which is about 7, okay, there are a few things I need to do. I'm going to say at media and max width is, what did I say, 720? Sure. 720 pixels. I'm going to take this button close, or is it close button? Close button. Where are you? Close button. And I'm going to move the left, or no, the right, to 0. So it'll be like, come on. Come on. Wait. Right is -40. I want to overrun it. Oh no, it's nested, so it's got a higher specificity. It needs to be modal close button. Okay, now it should work. Okay, so when it gets right here, it's going to go from the outside to the inside like that. See? Now, because if it was small and it was out there, it wouldn't be clickable because it'd be like off the screen, but now it's on the screen and you can click it. Cool. So I want to add a little bit of margins. I'll just add 10 pixels of margin to the thing. And then when it gets there, it'll be like, oh, I got some margin. So that's all well and good until right about there, really. What do we have here at 580? 580 pixels. I want to take that graphic and display none it. Display none it. And we'll take this text container, text box. I think it's inside the modal. Text box, and we'll just say max width is 100%. There we go. There we go. And like right about here at about like 480. No, 580 is fine. We'll take the this form, and what's the nesting I have right here? Just modal form. Okay. and I'll take the flex right here. Add text box, form, and I'll say flex direction is columns. That looks good, but we need to take the what is that called? Oh. Input type equals, what's it called? Submit. And just remove the margin right. Margin, just 0. And then for the other input type text, I just want to add some margin to the bottom. Margin bottom. 10 pixels? No, 5 pixels. There we go. So it's more a little, right? So it's like, hey, I'm full size. Oh, I'm mobile. Oh. Everything's still functional though. See, we still have this click to X button. We still can enter our email. We still can submit. We still can read the message. We don't need this little graphic there. That's just to help you make a good decision, a happy decision. But if there's no room for it, it can be removed. It can be cut. So that's how our modal is mobile. We have a modal mobile now. All right, and the very last thing we have to do is add the click, right? So what's going to happen when it clicks, and what's going to happen when it's no clicks? When it doesn't click, when it has no clicks, when it's not yet been clicked. So we're going to do that with some JavaScript. First, we're going to, let's say, take this overlay and say display none. So it's hidden. So remember, we have the design of good at business. All right, I love it. Okay, so let's open our functions. I don't know what it's called. JS, oh, it's called app.js. All right, function. This is it. So I have jQuery installed or loaded in as well. So this is a ready function for jQuery, which means that the code that I'm about to write will only be ready to fire once the DOM is created and loaded. And that way jQuery, that way the function that I'm about to write won't stop any of this stuff that we've done yet from happening first, because this doesn't need to happen until everything else is already there. So let's put a click, right? Click the CTA. .click. Actually, let's just map out our function here. First, it's going to be pretty simple, right? We're going to say click the CTA, then open the modal. But now we have to think about some logic. So we have to check if, no, actually, you can't click the CTA if the modal is open. So it's pretty easy. Click the CTA, open the modal. Click close. This is so stupid. Let's just get to it. It's so easy, right? Okay, so first one is CTA. Easy. Click. Clicky, clicky. What happens inside there? There's a function. The function inside that click, and it is this. Find the overlay. And CSS, what display? Oh, I have jQuery on. I could just go show, right? And this is so. It could be cooler. It could be cooler. Well, this would be like very basic, and then we'll make it cooler. So, and then the next one is what is it? Close button. Click that, find overlay, and then hide. Very basic modeling. Show. What happened? Oh, I know what happened. click CTA, we have to say return false. Now, the reason that we're getting that flash there is because remember that the CTA is, in fact, a link. It's a link. And so it was following the link and it was going, oh, it goes here, and then it's just going back to normal. So what I did is I put return false in there, which says everything after this don't return, including the click. So don't send the click to the browser. There we go. Can you tell me why our sizing is all messed up? I can't. I can't tell you that. So we've got, I know. Okay, because what show does, jQuery show will turn the overlay into display block. But what we wanted was the overlay to be display flex, so we can have the really cool centered positioning. So I won't use show, I'll use CSS display, and then comma, and then quotes again, flex. Now we'll click learn more, and then centered. Then you can add your text here, submit it, and they're done. And then, no, I don't want this newsletter. Close it. Close it. Close it. What's going on here? Do you have an error? Close it. Close it. Display flex. jQuery hide. Well, let's just, I don't know that's not working. Let's just take that and put it back to CSS, display none. So learn more now, open the modal. Oh, come on. Oh, I said close dot button. Dash button is what it needs to be. Okay. Close. There we go. Type, close. Actually, let's go back to CSS display. I think hide will work. I don't know why I thought it didn't. Oh, because I had the selector wrong. Hide will work. It's a jQuery shortcut that just turns the display to none. So open it and then close it. There we go. So that's the simple way to do it. That's the simple way to do it. We could do a cooler way to do it. Why don't we do that? Why don't we just do that? What's a cooler way to do it? Let's do, I don't know. Okay, so instead of saying hide and close, we'll say overlay class, add class just is open, I guess. Right? Yeah, that makes sense. And then if you close it, we'll remove the class is open. So now instead of doing the hide and seek, hide and showing stuff, we have to decide what is going to happen when we have the class and is open. Well, first we'll push that back to display flex. Just very basic. Just very basic. This is basically replicating what we've done before, but just using the classes instead. So the modal, the overlay has the class of is open, which gives it display flex, and then remove that class. Okay. But now we have an interesting opportunity. If we say translate all 300 milliseconds ease in out. We can say, instead of display flex, why don't we say, and have this not display none, but we have it opacity 0 and opacity and pointer events Now, pointer events means don't make this clickable, and I don't want it to be clickable when it's not showing, right? So pointer events none. And opacity 1 and pointer events, what is it, auto? Where's the fade in I was hoping for? Opacity. Oh, translate. Why was I saying translate? It's transition. Transition. Translate is something that happens inside transform, and it's just to move things around. Transition is what I was thinking I wanted. So we have a nice in and out easing, right, of our opacity of that form. So that's cool. What else? Well, is open. I could say dot modal could be transform translate. 0 pixels, 0 pixels. But then we'll go back to our regular modal and make it something weird, like if we said like negative 100. Do you have to put a comma? I think you have to put a comma in here. Okay, so I want the negative 100 to be here, and then I need this transition to be on the modal also. All right, now show me what you got. No, come on. Show me something cooler than that. This is embarrassing. This is just embarrassing. Oh. There we go. Okay, this is much better. So the reason that was I had my nesting wrong, I needed to put the modal inside is open. I thought it was, but it wasn't. So, okay, so when I click learn more, oh yeah, look at that transition. That's good, that's good. Here's something fun we could do. Let's go to inspect element and identify our modal and take this ease, and this is something that's cool new in Chrome DevTools. You can click on this ease guy and you can get different easings here, like different preset easing. And one that's cool is just if you just let's kind of crank that up, it gets a little bit more of a bounce. So let me show you what that means. Boom, you see how it like bounced in a little bit? Let me just do it a little bit better. See how it bounces in? Doom. Let's keep that. And we have to take this cubic Bezier and take it back to our code. Done. Good at business. Cool. All right, I am happy with that. Are you happy with that? You look happy. Thank you for watching this part of the series. Be sure to check out Andrew's video and the one of us breaking things down. If this is your first time watching this channel, I put out a new video every Monday. You can be notified when those videos come out by subscribing to the channel. That's it for now. I'll see you next Monday. But until then, keep on hacking.